Hey folks, I hope everyone's doing well. I've got some really cool information to share today, and I'm going to ask Keith Berns at Green Cover Food Plots to help me share this, so hold on a second. I'm going to hop on a Zoom call, bring Keith in. All right, ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Hey Keith, man, it's good to see you. You know, the snow, I'm looking outside now, is probably 80% melted, but we had a wicked snowstorm here in the Ozarks, about 8-9 inches, the most we've had in several years. I know it's been cold up in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I like getting out in the snow and walking. First day or two, you won't see many tracks. Critters just kind of huddle up and use the resources they got. Deer got to feed, man. They got to get that rumen going because that creates body heat for the animal, and they got more calories to feed those microbes in their belly.
Yep, that's right. It takes a lot of energy to stay warm.
Takes a lot of energy to stay warm. They don't put more layers on like I did when I was out walking around. So I trucked through some food plots, man. I just love this. You know, you work hard, you kind of, prepare food plots or whatever, and you like to see the reward, not just harvesting a deer hunting season, but hopefully year round, and looking at those tracks in the snow and seeing tracks, especially on the Milo. Of course, Milo was in our summer release, and it was sticking up, 3 feet or so above the ground there, and the snow wasn't near that deep. And you come to that, and you see deer tracks all around. And I felt good because seeing those tracks, and then our trail camera pictures, our deer are looking good. Their body's not all, I'm not counting every rib, not seeing their hips. And when I see that now, I know there's going to be plenty of fawns, most likely, and good antler growth this spring.
Right.
And if I'd have just been seeing tracks in the snow or deer eating on eastern red cedar or something, I probably wouldn't be expecting that this spring.
Yeah, that grain it's a great energy source for the winter. I mean, it's a strategy that so many of our farmer and rancher friends employ to keep their cattle going in the wintertime. And it's, cattle are rumen animals just like deer.
Sure.
And so it's the same principle. You get that high energy source in there, really gives them the powerhouse to stay in good condition even through tough times.
Yeah, those cow guys want those cows making plenty of calves in the spring or milk through the winter, depending on when they calve. And us deer hunters, of course, we want a bunch of fawns in the spring in good shape and mamas in good shape so they can provide good quality nutrition for that fawn. And, of course, no lying, we want to see some big antlers coming out, too.
Sure.
So that starts at that time of year. But, everyone in our business knows I've worked for, I started company Biologic many years ago, and worked for some other companies. But I got real excited when I actually met you because you guys stock. And I think I'm right here about 150 different varieties of forage and grains.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
I've never had that amount of variety to put blends together with. And I never had, and I don't even think this way, I'm a wildlifer, but you guys sell 30 million pounds of seed a year, something like that. I mean, that's hard for me to get my head around, 30 million. And I'm thinking a semi holds 40,000 pounds, do a little math there, and I'm thinking J.B. Hunt going down the highway from here to North Carolina or something.
It's enough to cover about 1 million acres of farm and ranch ground.
Man, so that volume and all the knowledge, because you work with researchers, I know at several universities, and farmers and ranchers doing on-the-ground, boots-on-the-ground training has really helped you and I put together last year and going into this year some really exciting blends for deer and turkey.
Yeah, we really enjoyed our first year working with you and all the great food plot clients. Great people to work with, and it's fun to be able to visit with people who are just really passionate not only about their wildlife but about their soil as well.
Yeah, we're seeing that as a massive trend. Guys are learning and gals are learning that improved soil is improved wildlife. Just makes sense. I mean, we're all told if we eat healthier, we'll probably be a little healthier, as I try to pull in my belly here a little bit. But, same's true of wildlife. And then this year, I think especially, I don't know if you've checked recently, but fertilizer prices are up in some areas more than 50%, some areas 80%. I've been looking recently compared to last year, I mean, an 80% jump. So, guy's got a 4-acre food plot and he's putting, throw a number, 400 pounds of 10-10 out there. All of a sudden you're talking, thousands, not hundreds. It's a bunch of money.
Yeah. Yeah. It's significant, and it's hitting everybody, from the large scale to the small scale. It's relative, but everybody's being affected by it without a doubt.
Yeah, and of course, I love this. I like to share. We'll be going this year in our 8th year of not needing to add any lime or fertilizer except in some test plots. And I shared with you our soil sample results. We're showing this year at our field day and on the show, and people know we're growing great deer and lots of food. So using these blends and knowledge you've helped me and other people, Dale, one of your agronomists, getting everything put together right so the species are working together
Yeah.
and not only attract deer and provide more tons because healthy plants just produce more tonnage, but also save you a bunch of money and not needing lime or fertilizer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When we put things together in the right way, I mean, it's a created system. God created this system to work. And then when you look at nature, you never see anything grown in a monoculture. It's all in diverse mixes, and it's all highly biological. Plants were never designed to pull those minerals out of the soil. They're never designed to get the nitrogen out of the atmosphere, but they're there, but it has to go through the biology. So when we farm in such a way that it goes through the biology, which, the no-till and the roller crimping and the, lower inputs, that all encourages biological activity. That's when we really start to see the magic happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen first year. Biology, of course, means microbes, little bugaboos in the soil that are taking this mineral, phosphorus, whatever, and converting it into a form that plants can use. That's just really important to do that stuff. Keith, I think one of the things that really keeps me motivated, besides seeing deer and eating deer, just had some great venison vegetable soup on those cold days, is learning and researching and finding solutions. And I've talked with you, boy, on these small, I call them hideo food plots, or I got some buddies that their neighbors just not harvesting enough does to be canned. Man, deer are pouring in their little food plots, just wearing them out. And what could we plant that would still attract deer, be very good quality forage, but handle some of that browse pressure? And you and I kind of got together and you said, well, Grant, check this out, check this out. And we actually planted all these species last year in some different formulations, whatnot. Tell us what we come up with.
Yeah. So what we did, and again, based on exactly what you said and based on the observations that you had there at the proving grounds, as well as a lot of great input from other customers and clients, we tweaked the summer release a little bit, and we kind of pulled back a couple of the things that maybe kind of outgrew the deer, and got a little tall, some of the sorghum and some of the sun hemp specifically. And then we created a new mix, and we're calling it Browse Release, and it's designed for those smaller, high pressure, high browse areas where, the deer are just pounding on it. So the Browse Release is a new mix, and it's going to have higher rates of those things that kind of stand up to the grazing pressure, the browsing pressure, like the sun hemp and the sorghum specifically. And so it would be a substitute for summer release. They would go in that same planting window. It's the same seeding rate. It's, everything there's the same. It's just going to be targeted more for those high pressure areas. If you've got a larger area, that just has, moderate, regular deer browsing pressure, then the summer release is going to be just fine for you.
Or if you planted summer release last year and it worked good for you, stay with that. But if you're like me and you got some little, 30-yard hunting food plots you like to climb up in the tree stand in, or I got some even larger food plots, but they're next to some neighboring property and deer just pour over there. Seems like at night sometimes, but pour over there and eat my food plot down, lip high, then I'm going to plant this new blend.
Yep, the Browse Release.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Lacrosse Footwear, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, RTP Outdoors, Fourth Arrow, Hunt Stand, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
If you would help me kind of tell a little bit about some of the exciting news we got coming on this year, because I'm just going to tell you, we're a small business, about 8 employees, and we're buying stuff all the time. Yesterday, I found out one of our pickups had to have new ball joints. Imagine that. We're wildlife biologists driving through creeks and gunk all the time. And I'm thinking, all right, boy, $350. I wasn't planning on spending that this month, but I got the bill is $900.
Yeah.
Who knew that ball joints, among everything else, was hard to find right now, and had to ship it in and have it in stock. So shipping on everything. We think about a ball joint, which is this size, folks, at least on a pickup, versus a 50-pound bag of seed or something. So I've asked you, I guess you might say we've really felt the need of food plot farmers out there to find a way to help them be able to get quality product and skirt around all this shipping naughtiness that's going on out there.
Yeah, it's a big deal. The logistics supply chain, has just it's just affecting everybody and everything. And so we've done a number of things. As because of the emphasis that we have as a company on these diverse species cover crop mixes, we don't sell through a dealer network. We're mostly directly to the farmer and the landowner, which is great, but it kind of puts us at a disadvantage for when we're shipping that one box or two box, because there's not a lot you can do to save money on just shipping a couple of UPS boxes to a location. UPS is going to charge what UPS charges, and that's just kind of the way it is. So the way that you get around that is as you build volume and you can start shipping on pallets, now you can start saving significant amounts of money because you just are spreading that shipping cost out across a lot more pounds. And so that's why, we've been working together with you and with our tech team here to really put together some solutions to try to get better rates for people and kind of designing a system that allows each customer, each landowner to really benefit like a dealer without necessarily having to be a dealer. So what we've done, Grant, is we converted all of our prices on the online store for our food plot mixes, all these Growing Deer mixes. So the shipping price is built into that seed. So it's free shipping, but anybody that, thinks about it, there's no such thing as free shipping. It's built in there somewhere. Okay. So we're not going to try to, tell people that it's truly free. It's built in there. But what we're doing is as you purchase volume and the shipping costs less, we're passing that right on back to you as a significant discount savings when we can ship a pallet instead of shipping 3 or 4 UPS boxes. And so what we've done is we're really trying to encourage people to either order their spring and their fall seed at the same time to try to get up to, you need to be about 250 to 300 pounds before it starts to make more sense to ship on a pallet versus in boxes. And that's not all that hard, if you're ordering your seed at the same time. And especially get together with some buddies, that's where you can really, really start making some decent savings there. And so, that's what we're doing. We've got a lot of partnerships with a lot of the top LTL companies. LTL means less than truckload, means when it's coming on a pallet. And, we've really got good connections with a lot of these companies. So it's going to give us the ability to ship seed at very reasonable prices if we can start building some of those volumes.
And then we're just talking a pallet. We're talking about 5 acres of seed or so, depending on what you're planting. Everyone thinks a pallet, one of those great big things stacked outside of Stuff Mart or something that's 20 feet tall. We're just talking 5-6 acres seed. Couple of buddies. In my case, I'm part of a deer co-op, the Branson Deer Co-op, and we've been cooperating for years in the true sense of the word. That, hey man, I found this deal where I can get XYZ cheaper if we all buy together. Well, that's now went into seed because shipping can be almost as costly as seed. But when we ordered on a pallet or 2 or 3 at a time, now we're back to prices like we were used to seeing.
Yeah, that's right. And I can just give you a couple examples here. So, if you and your buddies, Grant and your co-op buddies here, if you buy 10 bags of the summer release, which, would be enough to cover 7 to 10 acres, instead of just buying 1 or 2 bags, you'll get a 13% discount off that seed cost. And then if you can pull together enough friends and family discount to get up to a full pallet or 40 bags, you'll get a 23% discount. And again, that discount is coming off because it costs us less to ship that to you, and we're passing those savings on. The seed is really the same. It's the shipping where we're really saving that money. So we're making it pretty easy. If you're still just buying 1 or 2 bags, it's not going to be a lot different than it had been before. But if you can get up to that pallet rate, now we're really starting to see some savings. And with a mix like the fall release, where it's, a little bit heavier seeding rate per acre, the savings are even more. You'll get a 23% discount with just the first 10 bags that you buy. And you can get up to as much as 34% discount for that 40 bag pallet versus just buying a single bag. So, get a couple buddies together, pool all of your orders for the year, and you can get seed shipped right to your door for dealer discount pricing. And we're kind of excited about the program and are looking forward to being able to roll that out.
Man, I'm excited. I'm sure my co-op buddies are excited. It just makes sense. Dealers get their seed shipped to them on a pallet for just this reason.
Mm-hmm.
But you combine this with them, they'll get it shipped to your place or your buddy's place. You don't have to go to the dealer. And now you're buying instead of, it's not just being honest here, from a food plot company to someone that serves farmers and ranchers. I think you said you guys sold enough seed to plant about 1 million acres a year, not in your lifetime, in a year. So you're getting seed bought at big quantity prices, and now getting a shipping break. It's something I felt was worthy to take an episode and talk about.
Yeah. And another thing is, we're not just buying that seed at those volumes, we're actually growing it. We've got a network of growers. And so we probably have 25 to 30,000 acres under seed production. And the advantage of that is we know where that seed comes from. We know the quality. We're handling it from, we provide the seed to get planted all the way to what gets harvested and comes back. And so we've got total control over that quality system on much of the seed, not everything, but on a lot of it. And that makes a big difference as well.
This sounds really good. And again, it's not a commercial. I just wanted to share because I'm in the same boat. I plant a lot of acres of food plots and test plots. I'm always planting like a year or two ahead. I want to plant specialty seed items or something that's not common to see how it grows, how it survives a drought or flood or whatever. And B, do deer use it? And then what's the crude protein level or whatever? We're taking clippings as we've shared in the past. So Green Cover was a perfect partner for me with what I like to do as a researcher, what I like to do as a hunter. They were just a great fit for me. And now working on these prices specifically for food plot farmers like myself, I get real excited.
Yeah, we're excited to partner with you as well. It's like I say, it's been a lot of fun, and we're learning a lot as well. And the cool thing is again, because we're working with God's creation, what we learn over here working with food plotters, we learn things that apply over here to the farmers and ranchers, and vice versa. We'll pick up little tips and tidbits from farmers and ranchers, and we can come over here and say, hey, you might try this. This guy over here did this. Because again, everybody's working with God's creation, and those principles apply regardless of where you're at. Sometimes we have to modify the practices, but those same principles apply.
I think it was Ray Archuleta, a mutual friend, actually lives a couple hours from me, very, very talented soil scientist, worked for NRCS for decades. And I think it was him that said, maybe someone else that said, the principles apply whether you get 2 inches or 200 inches of rain a year.
Yeah.
And because I often get questions, hey, Grant, I know that release process is working well there in the Ozarks, but I'm down here in Georgia and we get 80 inches of rain a year.
Yeah.
I'm in Oklahoma. So anyway, this is super exciting. If you'd like to learn more, the details about what Keith and I were just talking about, this release process and soil health, and actually see it, get a spade, dig with us, look at the root structure, Keith's going to join me and some of his staff, some of his team, March 25th and 26th for a field event here at the Proving Grounds. And I got to tell you, it's over half sold out already, but we limit it to 100 people so everyone can kind of gather around and hear in the field. This is not a classroom event, and hear what we're saying. Keith and I were talking earlier, I guess last night or today, about some infiltration tests. We're putting some rings in the soil and pour an inch of water in there and show you how fast it goes in, just like an inch thunderstorm. Where we've been applying these practices or planting these blends versus maybe even my yard, which I'll tell you is not near as good. I don't want to mow the grass much, so I don't even try to improve the soil in my yard. But there's just some really cool hands-on stuff where you can see failures and you can see our successes and learn from that to apply it where you hunt.
Yeah, that's right. And, I'm excited about the infiltration test. It's one of the easiest things that a farmer, a landowner can do, but it's one of the most valuable things. because it really doesn't matter how much rain you get. It only matters how much rain you keep. And you can only keep it if you can get it in the ground. And that's what infiltration is. And so it's a simple way to do your own tests. You don't have to send this off to a lab. It's a great way to benchmark yourself year to year of how well you're doing.
Yeah. Well, Keith, thanks for taking time to explain this. I'm super excited about it, super excited about our partnership. See you in person here March 25th and 26th.
Yes, looking forward to it.
You mentioned all this new information we talked about. I mean, this is hot off the press. You won't have the website up till February 15th or something like that?
Yeah, our tech team's really working on just kind of finishing up the getting those discounts to apply at the right levels is kind of the tricky part. We've got the seed, that's not a problem. We've got the seed on hand. In fact, we've got a bunch of it mixed and it's ready to go. We just want to make sure that the tech solution is good. So if it's not quite ready, just be patient. It's coming. My tech people assure me that it's going to happen.
Yeah, not time to plant yet, folks. Even down south, it's not time to plant yet. All right. So, hey, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Hope you're a food plot planner and this, really relates to what you're doing or you learned something. And I have found for me that just studying, think about a seed that looks dead, looks like, a piece of dirt or something. You put it in the ground, get some moisture and heat, it comes to life. What an awesome illustration of creation and actually the creator and studying how plants work together and these microbes, which I never even heard a word of in college. Microbes are always bad, never beneficial in way too many years of college. That's just a great way to learn about creation and the creator's plan for us. So I want to encourage all of y'all to take some time every day and seek the creator's will for your life. Just be quiet and seek that and know that the creator is there to help you. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.